Yeah, Mary, tonight I talked to Jordan Brown's dad, and he is relieved those two teens are in detention center behind me. But he says he is still heartbroken. He is never going to get his son back. And now he and the other victims, and there's a lot of them, well, they all want justice. Montrell Hatfield and Marshawn Jones's violent, brazen, and deadly crime run is finally over.
I was angry, and I'm still angry. I want vengeance, to tell you the truth.
And now anger is bubbling to the surface for Joel Cummings, who had a gun pointed to his head during one of the dozen robberies the teenagers are suspected of committing.
I want to see him go to jail. I want to be at the court. I want to look that guy in the eyes.
The worst outcome of their rampage, the 15 and 16-year-olds are charged in the shooting death of Jordan Brown during a holdup at World of Weed pot shop.
They did an adult thing. They shot somebody. They killed somebody. The Jordan Brown's never coming back.
We first told you in February the teens were arrested for this Federal Way pawn shop robbery, but Judge Avril Rothrock released them from jail to house arrest. They cut off their ankle monitors and have been on their crime spree ever since.
Hopefully they get a judge that will actually keep them in jail until they get to trial.
Hatfield's arrest with the third accomplice today comes just a day after they're suspected of robbing a Lacey pot shop and firing a shot last night.
These are violent crimes. I mean, you're armed with a firearm, you're firing that firearm, you're putting people in a position where they reasonably fear for their own life.
Now that they're back in custody, victims hope for some peace of mind.
People need to be held accountable, and we don't have that in this state anymore. There's no accountability.
6:30, unvaccinated firefighters in King County who have just been fired are urging their fire chiefs to follow the lead of departments in most other counties that haven't fired anyone.
KOMO's Keith Eldridge says those firefighters believe the governor's vaccine mandate is simply unfair.
I'm not giving up the fight whatsoever. And, you know, I honestly think it's just kind of beginning. In King County especially.
Unvaccinated firefighter Scott Johnson just lost his job with Shoreline Fire, even though he has a religious exemption. That's because his fire chief wouldn't give him an accommodation, something we've seen with scores of other firefighters across King County. But not so with most other counties, including Pierce and Snohomish. Their fire chiefs are giving accommodations.
And when you talk to these other departments or firefighters from Snohomish County or Pierce County, you know, they don't understand it either. Like, I don't know what's going on. We've been doing this the whole time. We've gotten nobody sick. Nobody's gotten sick.
So why the disparity in the governor's vaccination mandate? The governor's office says it's not because of him, saying the decision to grant an exemption and an accommodation is a decision made solely by the firefighters' employers. The governor has no role in those decisions.
What are your thoughts on the fact that King County has its stance, and yet your neighboring counties are allowing for accommodations for people exactly in your situation?
Yeah, I think it's very frustrating to a lot of us.
The fired firefighters are hoping the King County fire chiefs will have a change of heart and follow the lead of most other fire departments around the state and grant those accommodations.
We are the minority in King County. We are as other departments that did have a vaccine mandate have now brought their firefighters back, getting them accommodations. It's time for King County, the fire departments, to reevaluate and make a new choice.
Keith Eldridge, KOMO News.
The man accused of killing an Everett police officer intends to plead guilty on all counts. Richard Rotter was in court today to answer to 3 charges related to the murder of Officer Dan Rocha last month. KOMO's Suzanne Fawn was in court for the stunning turn of events and explains what happens next.
I would defer to the court and the prosecutor.
Richard Rotter sat there quietly, only making eye contact with his attorney. He was arraigned on 3 counts on this Tuesday. The prosecution read the 3 charges Rotter will face after he allegedly shot Officer Dan Rocha 3 times in the head before driving over the officer's body and speeding away from the scene. His attorney made an announcement that took some by surprise.
After consultation with counsel and review of germane discovery, Mr. Rotter wishes to enter pleas of guilty in all 3 counts.
KOMO News was there and heard that announcement by the Public Defender's Office. We also asked some community members their initial take on what happened.
I think he's taken responsibility. I think that's a good thing that he's pleading guilty right away. I think that saves a lot of time.
Our justice system exists in order for people to have their time before the court, and in this case, I think he's chosen to do it a less confrontational way, which might surprise people, but maybe he doesn't want to be in front of a jury of his peers either.
Jennifer Collins says what Rutter intends to do will make a difference to Rocha's family.
I have an acquaintance who is close to the family, and I know they're wanting justice, and they're just wanting to see this man pay for his crimes and what he did. It's wonderful to see that he is going to plead guilty, as he should, and that justice will be done, and done swiftly.
Again, the public defender's office says that Richard Rutter intends to plead guilty, and he'll formally enter that plea on Monday. In Everett, Suzanne Fawn, KOMO News.
Hi, everyone. I'm Preston Phillips from KOMO News. Thanks for checking out the KOMO YouTube channel. You can see more of our videos right here by clicking on the video links for more news from the Seattle area and Western Washington. Oh, and don't forget to click the subscribe button below so you don't miss our YouTube updates.